So I'd like to introduce to you a little bit about the pineal gland. This gland is absolutely incredible. There's so many things that this gland does. The first and foremost, most important thing that the pineal gland does is increase the amount of DMT production. Now, DMT stands for dimethyltryptamine. It's a hallucinogenic compound. It is this chemical which released every 5 days for over 5 years, shooting me into these near-death type of experiences where I managed to learn all of this energy and learn this information so I could build Sacred G technology. It's an incredible anti-aging technology, which is literally the purpose of what I learned on the other side, which is to overcome death so that we can actually truly be alive, so that we can truly live. And the pineal gland is such a crucial part to overcoming this. Now, typically it's called the third eye. It's called the third eye simply because in like reptiles it actually has a cornea, or a retina, and a lens. It is literally a third eye. Now, in the human body, the pineal glands essentially evolved, so instead of picking up just visible light, it also picks up invisible light. Well, what is actually light? Light is only our visible light that we can see is only a tiny little sliver of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. And the electromagnetic spectrum is both visible and invisible light. Again, we can only see this tiny little sliver. Now, our pineal gland has evolved and grown to be able to pick up these invisible forms of light and vibration from our environment. Now, that's the system that Sacred G technology uses to enhance and activate the pineal gland through the mathematics that are built into it. So when you start increasing DMT production, what you're essentially doing is increasing your connection to source. We have spiritual abilities, we have spiritual gifts. People call them like clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience. In other words, you can feel what other people are feeling. People will say that they can talk to people who've passed on or on the other side. You know, psychic abilities, all these extra senses, Buddhic senses, sixth sense, channeling, downloading new information or intuitive hits for new information or enhancing your intuition. These are all spiritual senses. And when you understand spiritual senses, what we're really talking about is that state where we're all one. And when we get into that state where we're all one, not as the physical body, which is we're all separate individual bodies, we all have our own separate space, but when we move into a spiritual state, we all become one massive being. And when we move into that state with our consciousness, with our conscious awareness by increasing DMT production, what we start to do is unlock these spiritual senses where we can start feeling what other people are feeling. We can pick up extra senses and extra vibes coming off people that normally we can't. And what starts to happen then is we experience life at a richer, deeper, more synchronized level. Now, a lot of people around the planet have been waking up and these new senses have been opening, and for some people they're a little scary, for some people they're a little unstable. Sacred G technology enables us to be able to unlock any single person on the planet with this increased amount of energy. So it's not just some random people are opening up all over the place, and you know, anybody who does open up, they're sitting there wishing, well, I wish my parents could, or I wish my kids would, or my husband or my wife would. You know, now with Sacred G technology, we actually have a choice. We can start opening people up all around the globe to these new senses, to these new abilities, and to this entirely new experience of reality. And that's just one single component of what the pineal gland actually regulates, and that's, of course, is DMT and our connection with Source. DMT, because it is a natural occurring hallucinogenic, it's actually found in all of nature. Like, you can actually extract DMT from grass clippings off your lawn. It's in every single person's brain around the planet. Yet DMT is also a completely illegal substance, just as illegal as heroin or cocaine. Yet it's naturally produced inside of our own brain. Now, here's some of the really interesting things when we start to think about that. When we start actually increasing this awareness, when we increase this compound inside of our brain, what we're really doing is increasing awareness. We're increasing our connection with Source. We're empowering ourselves, and we're actually activating the body. We're becoming more aware of our experience of life here on Earth. That's a pretty interesting thing. When you start talking about this spiritual revolution that's taking place on the planet, and this wave of energy that's coming through everybody and opening and activating everybody up, What we're actually really talking about is the activation of the pineal gland and the activation of this natural occurring compound called DMT. Now here's something else that's really interesting about the pineal gland, is that it actually starts to calcify as we get older. But the calcification is actually caused from the fluoride that's in water. That's right, the very tap water that you drink, which is what makes Sacred G so important, because you're not only charging yourself when you're sleeping at night, you're charging your water and creating unlimited amounts of energized water with this vibrational print in it. You're charging up your food as well. Now, when you start charging up your water and you start activating your pineal gland, of course, your pineal gland starts to become alive again. So, and it overcomes this almost spiritual suppression from the toxic environment that we all exist within. So again, this is just one single thing that the pineal gland regulates.